Hi sinners, good to see you. This is my new channel, the Book of Job, and in this I'm going to be talking about, well, my recent conversion. So during the past few months I have discovered and have now embraced Satanism. I am now a member of the Satanic Temple, and so I thought I'd do a video vlog series essentially talking about Satanism in general, what I have learnt personally and other things. And so I thought, why not give it a go, eh? So without further ado, welcome to the Book of Job. So in this video, it's kind of tricky to know where to start. So I've got a few things in mind at the moment for future videos, but what I'm going to do for today, we are going to look at my recent Satanic altar. Okay, so this is my altar. Most of this is stuff that has been here for a while. As for quite a while ago I was very big into crystals. So a lot of my crystals are on here, so essentially not a lot has changed on here. So first of all, picked up a black cloth because style, basically. So in the middle here we have a picture of Lucifer. Now this was from a tarot set called the Grusha Tarot, which is basically themed on the fall of Satan from heaven, and it came with this court print, and so I kind of have that as a centerpiece. Now in certain places they say it's good to have an image of Baphomet. However, I still live in a Christian household, so I can't just, unfortunately I can't have a goat-headed intersex creature on my desk, so I kind of have to make do. But seeing as Lucifer is a fallen angel, I can kind of get away with that without too much heat. So other things I have here, two sets of wine glasses. So just a standard, two of these are standard that I got from Asda many years ago, and two of these with nice golden trim. I've had these for years, don't use them, but they look quite nice and decorative. And so we're going to go stuff for more that's pointed out, that's more well, relevant. So this is a dagger I have owned for many years, and this has to be on here because it can't not be. First of all, you've got a nice pentacle there, and the design of this blade looks really cool. So this can't not be as a part of a ceremonial blade for a Satanic altar. Now obviously this is also I bought this in a New Age store many years ago, and so obviously a lot of pagans do use these sort of things as well. So I've got a little bell. For some reason a bell is kind of instrumental, as it were. I still have a few of my crystals on here, so I've got a few bits of amethyst, fluoride, nice bit of smoky quartz here. That all still looks quite nice and on theme. So here we have my book of symbols. Now this isn't actually like my Satanic book. That's another book that I'll probably show in another video. But as it's nice and faux leather bound, I thought this would be perfect. So in here I just have like different symbols from different cultures and belief systems. So I've got the zodiac symbols, symbols of the chakra, etc. Also on here I have these glass, these bits of glass, and they have the elements. So this is fire, earth, water and air. And the reason I have them there is because they're also the cardinal positions. So earth is north, etc. So so I got them there once again for nice display purposes, and also for a nice bit of display. This really cool knife that I once again have had for many years. I do have a little collection of knives, nothing particularly as fancy as this, but once again it's really cool and a nice bit of decoration. It's not particularly sharp, But as I said, it does look pretty cool. So once again, it felt like a must-have. Plus, there's not really much space for me to have it anywhere else. So moving on. So I've got this bit here, bit of amethyst in a jar, because it looks very apothecary-esque. So I think that looks nice. Also, this is some essentially dust. One of my friends gave this to me, and I think it would look quite cool in here. So basically, these are basically dated to like 50 million years old. It's got it at the bottom here. Yeah, about 50 million years old. So my friend Pia gave me this, so I put it in this jar because it does look quite nice. And so, I'll mention these in another video, but I also have representations of the 7 deadly sins. So I might as well do it now. So I've got this Jack Daniel's poker chip for greed. I have greed for money and wanting more. For lust, I have this. So this is Jasper with the root chakra symbol on it, and the root chakra is for the base and at the very bottom, and it represents one of the things it represents is sex and sexual urges. So this is my signifier for lust. For pride, I have what's referred to as a poison ring. Now the reason it's a poison ring is because at one point this would open up and people would put poison in it, and secretly you'd wear it, open it up, put poison in, close it. But I got this for pride because it's such a big chunky ring. It feels like it is a very look at me sort of thing, and so this couldn't be anything but pride. So this one I'm kind of proud of. So I've got a couple of these little jars. So this one is for wrath, and in it we have in Roman numerals 3:7, and that is a passage from the Satanic Bible, from the section of the Book of Satan, which basically says that if someone strikes me, I should not turn the other cheek. I have the right to hit them back tenfold, which seems very wrathful to me. So that's my symbol for wrath. So over here we have a symbol for gluttony, and so in here is in the same little small jar we have gluttony. So in here we have Earl Grey. I quite like Earl Grey, one of my favourite teas, but the reason why this is gluttony is because that's about half a tea bag, maybe less than half, and the idea is it's also not even halfway full, and the concept is that basically this is never full, this is not enough. So and for me, gluttony always feels like never having enough. So we now move on to this pot at the back, which represents envy. The reason it's envy is because it is completely empty, and the reason why I have it as envy is because you always want the point of envy is wanting something you don't have, and therefore it is empty because it will never be full. It will never be filled because you'll never get what you don't have. Okay, and now we move on to the last one of sloth. And so sloth is more about spiritual laziness rather than just the lack of get up and go. And so in this little packet, little bag, is the book of Psalms. Now it's written in Hebrew, and the reason, I think I've got it upside down, there you go. And the reason I'm calling this my representation of sloth is because I'll never take it out of this little bag, I will never attempt to read it. It is a book that I have no interest in at all, and because of that it technically represents spiritual laziness because I have no interest in it whatsoever. And so therefore it's part of my altar. And yeah, I mean the rest of it are just general bits and bobs, nothing really too in depth. So I mean I've got some of my jewellery, so I've got a pentagram ring, another ankh because I always like my ankhs, upside down cross, because why not? And this nice little ring here, ring of an eye. And I always like to consider this to be kind of illusionary. So I wear this to kind of mentally portray myself how I wish to be seen. So, in summary, no, I don't think any of this is magical. I don't feel any of this carries any more power or weight than I give it. And so, it's kind of like a placebo effect, a psychological, kind of like a self-induced placebo effect. I imagine that it gives me this ability, so therefore it does. So I don't believe any of these have any magical powers or any abilities like that. But yeah, so this is basically. To be fair, I thought this video would be a bit shorter. Yeah, so this is basically kind of my altar that I put together. There are still other things I'd like to have, but once again, I still live in a Christian household, so there are a lot of things I still can't do. So I can't really have like a Baphomet statue, and so if I ever wanted to do that, if I ever wanted to do a ritual for Baphomet, I'd have to go in the bathroom and use my bath mat. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing some others on a similar vein, and we'll see you then.